All right, peace, and blessings, family. Uh, Once again, this is the Cosmic Afro Mystic, Cosmocentric Mystic, coming at you again with a conversation that seeks to uplift and improve the Black community in general. Um, so, what we're talking about tonight, what we're discussing, is a conversation that really needs to be had because there's this thing going on in the community right now. Whereas, like, we're really talking negatively about Black women. Black women are really getting hounded upon. Part of it, is it fair? Is it necessary? Is it real? You know what I'm saying? Are Black women, kind of out there and really the cause of a lot of this chaos, or is it a misperception? So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss it, and we're just gonna deal with it from our own perspective, and then anybody that's wants to add on can come on up. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat. If you're catching me on Vigo, you know what I'm saying, you can go ahead and cam up and we can have this discussion. If you're catching me on Facebook or YouTube, I'm gonna go ahead and put the chat on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Cosmic Afro Mystic. So you're gonna have to go there if you want to participate in the conversation live with us. But other than that, we're just gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? This is just really just talking about something that's going on in the community. So the big guy, the big name recently out here, that people are really kind of talking about and talking to is this brother Kevin Samuels, right? And so now Kevin Samuels, to me, he's been kind of pushing through a lot of illusions that Black women have had in reference to finding a suitable mate. You know what I'm saying? Finding a Black man that can really assist them or help them, or just walk through life together. But then at the same time, I have noticed that the brother has come down upon them, and I'm wondering if it's necessary to speak to them in such a matter, um, because he does come down abusive to them, and how he talks to them. And so the question, the discussion we're gonna have here today is really kind of putting things back in their place, because people, I don't know what's going on in the community today. Clearly, I'm out of touch. I'm gonna just be blunt. I'm out of touch with this community because I honor and value the Black woman. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem seeing a Black woman, that I respect, a Black woman who has shown themselves to manifest queenly qualities. And like I always go by Obati Shaka's Return to the African Mother Principle of Male Female Equality, where he said all just males and females are equally empowered to govern society. So, whenever I see a male that that's righteous, that's just, that's making initiations, that upholds the values of community, I have no problem offering deference and respect to them. But that's not everybody, and that's few and far between. And I'm coming to learn that the more and more I get on social media and the more I interact with people. Because honestly, I'm on this app here and I see sisters that just take it to make it. And it's really interesting. I'm really learning a lot about people. So, Brother Otu, what's your take on this? Is the Black woman worthy of our respect in America, or have have they gone so far that they are the cause of the destruction, a part of the chaos in the Black community?
Um, so I would say with a lot of people are supporting Kevin Samuel's message for two reasons. One, um, a lot of the information that he says about men, about heterosexual men, is absolutely true. Um, and how we view women, and how we choose women to be our mates. And then two, a lot of men are frustrated and angry about how men have been denigrated, disrespected, dishonored, and treated over the last 20 years, especially over the last 15. And part of their support for Kevin Samuels is coming off of that, how these men have feeling inside. And there's a lot of YouTube videos that are popping up, social media platforms that are popping up with men speaking about Kevin Samuels and then the high value men. Now, and most of these men don't fit the description of Kevin Samuels high value men. These are not men that are making 150,000 a year or more, and especially not for the last 5 years. They don't fit what he's talking about. They're just mad that how society has been treating men, and then putting women on a pedestal, even though they put women on the pedestal and use women against men, and so a lot of men are very angry and upset, and are lashing out back against women in many different ways. And one of the ways of doing it is supporting Kevin Samuels' message, no matter how much he may disrespect and degrade black females. Now, Kevin Samuels, I'm sure he means well. That's why I had listened to him and had subscribed to him myself. He means well, but the problem is if black women were to take him, or women period, were to take him serious, completely serious, and take his word for everything, they will feel really bad about themselves if they don't fit. If they don't have the qualities or fit the qualities or the criteria of what it means to be a high value woman, which is to be super beautiful, like an 8, 9, or 10 on some schedule. I mean, on some scale that goes from 1 to 10, where 1 is ugly. And if they feel like everyone wants to feel like she's beautiful, average doesn't sound beautiful. And if they call the woman average and say that she's undeserving of a man, of a high value man, she feels like a loser, basically. That sucks. And then women that are tuned into it will feel bad about it, and then men will have no mercy, because men remember the days. It just feels like society has no mercy on men. I'm in no way condoning the aspect of Kevin Samuels degrading the women verbally. No, I don't support that at all. But I mean, you can tell the truth to people without being harsh about it and heartless about it.
Right.
And so
here's the question. There's a lot of things you touched on that I want to kind of pick apart. So that scale thing, that's really a destructive concept. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's really destructive, and it's not beneficial whatsoever, because beauty, like I said before, beauty fades. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What does not fade is the character of the person you're with. And that's what you should be more concerned with, because these values of a rating scale based upon your beauty, so to speak, is too superficial. It's too superficial, and it doesn't really speak to the content of a person's character, which is what is going to make a relationship successful. You understand? If you're looking at somebody's physique, if you're looking at somebody's beauty, that is going to fade. Just like the fascination you have for new shoes and a new car fades. You understand? That you get used to the beauty that you have, and there's a familiarity. What do they say? Familiarity breeds resentment, or something like that.
Breeds contempt.
Yeah, familiarity brings contempt. And so even if you have a beautiful person, even if they meet your highest standard, over the course of time, you're going to become bored with that and look for something else. So really, these are just shallow characteristics that these people are discussing. There is no such thing. I mean, of course, society does judge women based on beauty, and that's just how it goes. But you know, a woman's worth is really a woman's worth is really how they can contribute to the positive development of the family, along with the man. You see,
Right.
we gotta understand the difference between males, boys, and men. That's what Naeem Akbar did in Visions for Black Men, right? He said, women and men, there's 3 levels to each woman and man. Now he got this based upon some work. He kind of did some flipping of Freud's work, but he said there's a female, the girl, and the woman. There's the male, the boy, and the man, right?
Yep.
So the female and the male, they go off of their base instincts. You know what I'm saying? The female and the male, they simply want to satisfy their lower desires. They want to mate. They want to look good. Well, they basically want to mate and they want to feed themselves.
Right.
Right? So that's like the baby infantile stage, right? The boy and the girl, they figure out how to use their sexual powers. They figure out how to use their will to satisfy their desire to mate and to have a good home.
Yep.
But see, the satisfaction or the fulfillment of these desires, they don't care how they get it. You know what I'm saying? They don't care if it causes balance or chaos, just as long as it's fulfilled.
Right.
Now, a man and a woman knows how to move and organize society so that the base needs are taken care of, but so that the community and the family can move forward in a positive direction.
Right.
And what the people like Kevin Samuels and these other brothers and sisters that do this rating system on other people are doing is they're actually acting just like males and females. Essentially, they're acting in their baser instinct. And they're not really looking at what is a man and what is an actual woman. What is a responsible member of the community, which is what we really need to be talking about and what we really need to be building. You know, we need to be building strong men and strong women in the community, not dolls and boys.
Right.
Know? And that's this whole rating system and then this B rating system that people are doing to one another. You know what I'm saying? When you rate somebody, you're objectifying them. And that's straight up Eurocentric. So objectify another human being as if they're only here to satisfy your desires.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so my sister said, what do you think about the gender roles being reversed? What does that mean? Gender roles being reversed. I don't understand it.
Gender roles being diverse. If it was to happen.
Yeah, I don't understand the gender roles being reversed question.
But it's saying like the man, it's saying like the woman, basically the woman making all the money, being the breadwinner, and then working the 9-to-5 job, and then coming home to a house husband that cooks and cleans and takes care of the kids.
Like I said before, it's about the building of the family. You understand? I mean, in truth, the roles can never really be reversed. If a woman works too hard, she's gonna burn up her ovaries. What I mean is a woman taking care of money and the man being home. Yeah, just like my brother O'Toole said. If a woman works too hard, she runs the risk of burning up her ovaries, right? And so as long as she understands that's what can happen.
Right.
As long as the woman understands she runs the risk of being infertile, and she wants to assume that role and the guy is not having children as well, that's fine. Because really it's about the movement of the Black community, the Black family forward together. But there is gonna some level of submission on the woman's part that has to be done. That's just the way of things in general. But it's not submission. Both parties have to submit. The man and the woman, and both parties really have to submit to the rule of law, the divine law that guides the house.
Right.
That's it. Both of them have to decide both the man and the woman have to decide upon what the rule of law is in their house, and they have to abide by it and they have to enforce it. So really, there really at a certain point, there is no like the money thing is just the money thing. As long as there's equality and nobody is egoic about the money, that's the big issue. Nobody feels empowered because they make more money than the other person.
Mm-hmm.
The other person is allowed to express their talents and what they have to offer to this world without being made to feel less than because the other person makes more money. Then it doesn't matter who makes more money as long as the people are able to contribute their talent and their skills to the world. That's how I feel about it, brother. What about you?
The way I feel about it is that I don't know if it is if it's like what I would call an artificial intelligence, or if it's like nature. So like I don't know if it's something that and I'm gonna use myself as an example. I don't know if it's something that um, that I picked up, a behavior that I taken on, and then and decide to own it, or if it's my male instinct kicking in. Making the money for me is pretty good. I don't mind making the money, and then I mean, and I actually now my feelings, my emotions about myself should not depend on how much money I make. No, that's
Right.
not that's not good, because the money is not life force fulfilling. But doing what I want to do to earn the money is a different story. I think a lot of men have not think about that. They think about that if they earn money, that's all they need, and, to feel like a man. And I don't think that's going to work entirely. It may make us feel good that we have all this money in our hands, but then we feel inadequate if we come across a gold digger, right? Some uh, um, there's that saying that the rich men don't care about how much money the woman got, and the rich man don't care about spending a lot of money on something, because they got so much money, and that's true. And so that means that rich man, his emotions and his feelings is in his money. This is the reason why when a rich man goes broke, he commits suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The whole
but
essence is caught up in that money.
exactly, and so Um, but then a lot of men may commit suicide if they feel worthless as a man, period. And then that is also, the rich man committing suicide is also linked to that. Um, that essence that's in there. We've been taught that the more money we have and the more women we have sex with, the more of a man we are. We're not taught to and are not encouraged to go into metaphysics, learn how to build our life force energy, build chi, especially depending on what culture we grew up in. If it's westernized culture, then no, we're definitely not taught that. We're taught away from that.
Right.
We're taught away by the same patriarchy that so called oppresses women. This patriarchy oppresses men, and it makes it so that no men, other than those that run the patriarchy, can get any type of power and control in this world. So it's best for him to focus on his life force energy and empower himself. Um, and then as far as being in a relationship, being married, me, I wouldn't mind making most of the money or all the money, because I guess it's just in my nature to go out and work and then make my own money and then do for myself. And if I could do for my wife and children, I will do that gladly. And so back in the day, I remember, because there was that thing about being a simp and being a sucker, a cat that's a square who goes out and spend money on women and stuff like that. Um,
Still, it's the same today, brother.
yeah, and nobody wanted to be the one to spend the money on the woman, because they call it tricking. So you're a square, you're a trick. spend that money. But nowadays, I understand why men do that, and I understand why prostitution still exists. The woman's yeah, part of why we value women and how we value women is a sexual market system. There's a sexual market value to a woman, just like, and there's a what's it called? What will be the name for it? There's a market value also for men. And I don't think it will fit exactly what Kevin Samuel said. Like a high value man is having all this money. No, the
Hey, someone in the comments they called it hoeing.
they call it hoeing. uh, so the sexual market value for women is if she's in her feminine energy, and then she's okay with her sexuality, right? She's not questioning herself. She's not going by the judgment of men that want to control her and say, "Oh, if you have sex with more than one man in your lifetime, then you're a hoe," or you should be thinking about having sex with a man and shouldn't be a sex expert. That makes you a hoe. Nah, if she gets away from all that and get out of that paradigm that has been thrown on her by the church and by what we could call the patriarchy, she'll be just fine. Feminine women and women that are into us and sexual women that are into her sexuality and stuff like that, and they're mastering her femininity, mastering her sexuality, mastering what it means to be her. She's good to go. And women from the beginning.
Wait, time out, brother, time out. What does that mean though? Because when you say master your sexuality, are you talking about women going out and being able to have sex like men have sex unaccountably?
No. Mastering your sexuality is being comfortable with whatever your sexuality is. So don't worry about the judgment of not. It's not gonna. Your relationships are not gonna work out all the time. You're not a hoe because you had sex with one man and then that relationship didn't work out. So you met a new man and then you had sex with him, and then that didn't work out. And then you met a new man and had sex with him, and then that didn't work out. And you met a new man and had sex with him, and then that worked out. That you're not a hoe because you had sex with these many different men. You have a hoe. You become a hoe if it's a profession, right? And if it's something that
If it's what you do. So
if
you're
it
saying you become a hoe if you do it for money versus if you do it in the course of a natural relationship,
yes.
right?
So
And a
a
woman should
woman,
not feel bad if she's had multiple relationships in the quest to find a mate.
right? Because we all do that. We all have multiple relationships in the quest that find that one. And some of us have multiple relationships on purpose because we're not ready to settle down. And what there's something that's different now than it was in the 90s. There's shows like Jimmy Jones and a bunch of other talk shows at that time, like Ricky Lake and what's his name, Jerry Springer, stuff like that. They had psychologists come on to their shows, and the psychologists were were they were confronting female sexuality. They were confronting some of the female guests, and they were explaining because they were explaining why some of the female guests would get with married men. Some female guests they would ignore single men and go after married men all the time. And they came to the conclusion that the female guests that were going after the married men went after the married men because that means that female did not have to get in a committed relationship. There's no committed relationship. There's nothing. There's no man that's requiring her to be in a committed relationship with him. And so she did that because she was afraid of commitment. And that still goes on today when you look at things. Why would a woman get with now people gotta rethink about why a woman would get with a so-called bad boy, and they know these relationships don't work out. The only reason why they would know that only reason why they would do that and then wait to get with the so-called good boy or nice guy when they turn 30 is because they didn't want to settle down in their 20s. They wanted they wanted to live a life. Uh,
A
uh,
fantasy world.
yeah. They wanted to live a life, explore their options, have sex with whoever they want to, men that they were attracted to, without being called a hoe. And that's the reason why they always would tell it when we asked them, "Hey, why do you just keep messing around with all these bad boys?" And all, "Oh, because well, I'm looking for a good guy, and I just haven't found the right guy yet. I want a nice guy. I want a guy to do this, that, do." And really, they do, but they don't want that and need that right then. Okay, they want it when they're ready for it, and this is the reason why so many women gravitate and keep doing that. After a while, it doesn't look like an accident anymore. It looks like it's intentional, which means that they are wiser.
They become programmed and conditioned to that.
They can be programmed and conditioned into doing that, but I don't think that's what it is. I think this is biological. I think that this is a natural. This is a natural order of things. These women, they're programmed and conditioned to say that they need the nice guy when they're not even ready for them. Just like us men, we're programmed to want the nice girl when we're not ready for her, and then we get labeled as being the male whole or being a player and all that. When really we just wasn't ready to settle down. And then once we ran into the right woman, we settled down with her, and then had kids and got married and everything. But if it's I put now in this example, I put men and women in the same category because um, a lot of things that women are still human beings, just like men are human beings. We tend to think the same things when we encounter similar or the same situations. Um, and I've noticed that women will come up with all these excuses, men will come up with all these excuses. I said it myself, oh yeah, I want a nice girl and all this other stuff, but then I wasn't ready to settle down at the times when I had said that. you know and the women, I'm looking at the women. No woman goes after a man that is unattainable and then unhandcuffable. If No woman does that. When women are fed up and women really want what they want, they're go-getters. They go and get it
Yeah.
done. If they want to settle down, they're gonna do it. And if they want to play around, they're going to do it. But they are afraid to say that they want to play around because men that want to control them want to label them a hoe for it. And that is the problem. So women are it's like they're stuck in this world where um, people want them, society wants them to settle down in their 20s and shit like that. And while the men go out and try to have some fun, and
So here's my question. The topic of today's conversation, I guess we can talk about this a few times, is Black woman, you are worthy, right?
yep.
So what what are we talking about? How are we saying Black woman, you are worthy? What are we saying worthy? How are we defining worthy Black woman? So you're saying a worthy Black woman is somebody who's comfortable in her sexuality without being hindered by the stigmas of society?
She's worthy if she feels she is worthy and she knows she is worthy, right? Know thyself. Knowing thyself is knowing your worth and knowing, your values beyond physical means and material matter. You know, she she doesn't know that she doesn't have to listen to other people tell her that she's worth. That's why I listen to Kevin Samuels and I listen to all these other dudes. She doesn't know, and she's misguided. Just like a lot of men are misguided. Nobody knows their actual worth. Because Kevin Samuels actually puts down a lot of men too that don't make 100,000 and more a year. I mean, he's genuine, but
You mean he's genuinely dissing people?
he's genuine in his message, right? So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of truth to what he's saying. That's why no one really can really just knock him. You know what I mean? There's a lot of truth to what he's saying. He talks about men looking at women, but he says he attributes it all to high value men. He attributed said, "Oh, we look at women, and then we see her body shape, we see her size, we see her weight. We're looking at her face and how she looks. We're looking at if she's sweet and feminine. We're looking at we already know whether by looking at her, we already know if we want to have sex with her or not, and we're judging them based on those immediate things." How we sexually feel and how her mental body and shape and eyes, whatever beauty, how it appeals to us. And
Now,
so
there is a factor there that where it does. That's not. I mean, that's part of human nature.
right, but
You know,
a lot of women don't understand that her degree and her money is not going to matter to us. He says it's not going to matter to what a high value man is. And yes, true. His definition of high value man, it doesn't matter to them how much money she make. And to a guy like me who doesn't make $100,000 a year myself, um, it still don't the amount of money she makes still don't matter to me either. And so I'm not on what he feels is a high value man. I'm not one of them dudes. And so,
what does matter to you?
what would matter to me?
Yeah, in a relationship with a sister.
Oh, just like I said, just like he said, um, we're looking at her body, we are looking at her face, we are looking at not only just the physical attraction, but the sexual attraction. And then is she feminine? Is she is she her natural self, her natural feminine self? Um, and if she's confident, for me personally, if she's confident in her femininity and in herself, um, that's that's all it takes to get in the door. Basically, is that she doesn't have to have a car. She don't even have to have a high school diploma. She don't have to have a college degree. See, if she don't have to have a high school diploma, she definitely don't have to have a college degree. So that don't even mean nothing. Women that will come and say, "Oh yeah, I got all these degrees and I'm the CEO of this corporation." I'm like, who cares? Can you cook and clean? And then, would you be a good mother for my children?
All right, that's what I was giving you some time to talk because that's what
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to go there because ultimately, I think the value in a person, a value in a person in reference to a mate is their ability to bring forth a balanced relationship with another person. Because ultimately, the goal is to produce children or to have a family that can bring more balance.
yeah,
You want your child to grow up and to be balanced. You want your child not to have any deficiencies, so that when they go out into the world, they don't become victims of the world.
yeah,
Whereas you have predators who sound good in technical games, but who ultimately end up, in possession of the children, in possession of young, impressionable minds, and abusing them.
right, yeah, and
So someone
yeah,
asked, is the level of financial success equal to the level of quality of women you can get? No. That's what we're saying. Success doesn't matter. But we're also saying there has to be finances taken care of. So if the woman is not making enough, the man has to make enough, or everybody's going to have to work. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Actually. Everybody's going to have to work to make sure the family is supported. And then this is the argument or the discussion for having polygamous families. And so that responsibilities can get shared amongst several adults. So that's the argument in the discussion for polygamous families. But essentially, people are going to have that. So this fairy tale that somebody can stay home all the time and not have to work doesn't necessarily fit. So there's going to have to.
right.
Hey, Corey. Yeah, it's my computer. I gotta get another computer. Everybody keeps telling me I gotta echo. Corey, oh wow, I haven't seen you in years. You a doctor yet? But yes, so it becomes more about is the couple together, and are they moving towards the goal together? Are they moving towards the balanced family? You know, because a lot of things can be circumstantial as well.
Right.
Dr. Jackson. So a lot of things can be circumstantial. You know what I'm saying? But mostly it's about building up the black family, and then making sure that family is influenced in the community. Because I know in this community out here where I'm from, DC, we have plenty of doctors around. We have plenty of lawyers that don't see themselves as being different class-wise than the average person. They're community members, and they help out and they assist, and they show other brothers and sisters what's possible and what's available, to them if they develop their minds.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's not so much the money you bring as the quality of person you are and the commitment and dedication and devotion that you have to the improvement of your community.
Right.
Yep. That's what matters most, because ultimately everybody's gonna have to work some shape, form, or fashion. Nobody's gonna be able to sit down and not do a thing. That's just not real. So yeah.
I think nobody would not I think with many women it's not if they're true to themselves, it's not about them working super hard and all that. They actually want to be functional in the world. And they, just like you said, it's natural to be functional in the world and to do something other than just being a mother. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I hate to say this for people that are, Christian or whatever, but, talking about the woman that just put here for the man, that's not good enough for any woman because that means that God does not value her. If she's just come from the rib of a man and then she's born and she lives life and all she's good for is having sex and having kids, then a woman's going to feel inadequate and worthless. But then if a woman knows that she has a divine purpose on earth, she becomes more than just an object for producing children and to have sex with.
And see,
And
that's important because I know a lot of sisters that are queen mothers who they work their jobs, but then come back and build and then help assist the community at the same time. Because this is a Kemetic community.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They have their careers, but because they're taking on the responsibility of building the community, they also help others out. And they help other people in developing, becoming their best self, so to speak. And so they're detached from their social role, no matter how much money they make. And it's the commitment to the development of the people in the community that matters the most.
right. Yeah. And we as a society, as a people, the human race have gotten away from the value of women since the what they call the goddess traditions have went away or were destroyed due to men coming into power in the universe. Um, those traditions taught women that they were worth more. In African traditions, period, teach women. Eastern traditions teach women that they're worth more than just being somebody's sex mate and mother their children. Women want to work, and I
I
think
was sharing my experience in Ghana when I met the current Yaa Asantewaa. The Yaa Asantewaa is like the queen mother of the nation. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And so in the early 19th century, when British went over to colonize Ghana and they captured the king, it was Yaa Asantewaa which led the rebellion. He led thousands of men into battle.
right,
Similar to our Harriet Tubman. You understand? So a cultivated woman, a woman who is cultivated in mind, a woman who's cultivated in consciousness, a woman who carries around her culture, a woman who is just, a woman who it represents the African mother principle of male-female equality, will be able to lead men and women. It doesn't matter as long as they manifest the principle of righteousness.
Right.
So the gender doesn't matter. It's not the gender doesn't matter, and the career doesn't matter. It's the ability to manifest the culture. It's the ability to inspire others to be their best selves. That's what we need to strive to do in this life. I went to Ghana in 2016. 2016, 2017. Yeah, no, 2017. So that's what really matters. Like a woman who has the ability to truly manifest the culture, like, she can inspire and lead regardless, millions. It doesn't matter, but she has to be a cultivated woman, just like they have to be cultivated men. Because right now what we have is a lot of females and a lot of males, a lot of boys and a lot of girls running around here masquerading as men and women. And that's a problem. Because if you don't have a man, if you don't have a woman that is in control of their sexual nature, that is in control of their egoic nature, and that is only going out to satisfy their sexual egoic nature, you're going to have a person who is operating off of programmed and conditioned behaviors and ultimately causing more chaos in the community. And then they're creating cultures around it. Like, what is Kevin Samuels calling them? The high value man and woman? You there, Elton?
Yeah, he called them high value men and women. So yeah,
That's true,
yeah.
Sarah. Yep. There's one sister in the comments. She said, "A loved and respected woman will help a man build not just an empire and a family, but a family legacy." And that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's not so much. It shouldn't. The idea of money isn't as valuable. You know what, brother? I did a report the other day on the Hebrew Israelites, right?
Yeah.
And they had two movements where they went to Africa and got land. There's one brother in 1934 tried to get some land in Ethiopia, and another brother in 1967, Ben Ami, he went to Liberia, and they had some land for a second. Then that experiment failed, so he went over to Israel, and they gave him some land. And I guarantee you, he did not do that alone. I know that 200 people went with him and helped him do it, but I know sisters that believe his vision and his sisters with skills and abilities to pass his own, but he was able to motivate and inspire to build a nation. So, and we shouldn't be so fixed on gender, and we shouldn't be so fixed on roles as much as we are on function. You understand? Because we're gonna have to come up with a new way to come out of the situation that we're in, and it's gonna take a strong, just man, and a strong, just female, strong, just man, and a strong, just woman. I don't want to say man and female. To come together and to build and take responsibility for their community and their people, essentially.
Yeah, I feel that's important, but there is a lot of truth to these so-called gender roles. A lot of women that get with a dude, a man that is a house husband, they end up divorcing him because it turns out she didn't really like a man that stayed home and did like housework and stuff like that. She preferred to do that. A lot of women that had got fooled by what is called feminism, that ideology of feminism, um, have learned that. They've learned that they do not like the idea of being the one to go to work all the time and then bring home the money and provide and everything, for various reasons, for whatever reason. They did prefer to do things that we would call feminine, um, or, like around the house, or just other feminine, womanly things that women are naturally attracted to. Um, Feminism took them off that and forces them to tap into their masculine side. But women are not 90% masculine like that. When it comes to that yin and yang principle, um, women have more feminine qualities than they do masculine qualities because why? Because they're females. They got the femininity, female. That's them. And then men, um, we don't really complain about making the money. We didn't get, even it's been for the past 40 years, divorces have ended over finances.
Yeah.
And the women had been the one to initiate the divorces, and then most of the reasons were finances. And so men, when we're put in a position to be the financer, if you will, um, we don't have a problem doing it. It's a lot of hard work, but we feel better about ourselves and feel better about life when we do that. I think that's instinctual. I don't even think that we had to be convinced by Western society to do that. I think Western society tried to convince us that women are hoes and that men are tricks. Um, there's nothing good about anybody in Western society. Um, um, and excuse my language for this, but what what do we call men that are basically foul, like have foul attitudes, foul their actions, um, they display foul characteristics. We call them dicks, and then we call people that are weak and weak-minded. We call them pussies. We're actually insulting the phallus and the chalice each and every day by calling the weak people pussies and calling the assholes dicks. We're actually insulting ourselves as human beings when we give in to these what is you call these maxims and these ideologies and these words and these ways of expressing ourselves by calling each other by the parts of our anatomy. You know what I mean? They become
Yeah.
insults.
Hey, brother, I want to respond to your sister's comment
Oh
in the
yeah, go
comment.
ahead.
She said she agrees the man's role is to protect and provide, and we are built to nurture and cultivate. She's from Ethiopia, and it was weird when she went to the UK to see men sleeping on sofas and the women working. So there's a problem. I mean, so there's a problem here with how the European has devastated our culture. You know, because there's been a concerted effort to take the role of the man away from the relationship. That's why I
Yeah,
said we have to define new ways of having culture until we can get back to the way we were. You
I
understand?
think
You say that
yeah,
again?
I think that men and women. I think here's a new model that I'm developing. If the man and the woman work together in the same business, right? She'll be making money doing her thing, and he'll be making money doing his thing. Like um, maybe she might maybe she might go out and work. Maybe she might work from the house because after she has kids, she may want to be around the house more, and maybe she might work from the house. I mean, this whole thing with this coronavirus, it got people in a position where they have to work from the house a lot of the times, and it's not so much of a problem if they have a business that could be online or it could be something where she can be using the phone because a lot of women are have been attracted to jobs where they're using the phone. A lot of women like to be around the house, decorate the house, and it's mostly the women that want to design the inside of the house, the furniture and everything, what goes up on the wall, how the kitchen look, and all this other stuff. A lot of times, yeah,
I know.
a lot of times women did that. When I lived with my mother, I have a girl come over. She say, "This is her house. This is her bathroom. This is her." Like, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm the dude. I'm sitting around. I don't really care about that. All the electronics in the house were purchased by me, but these feminine looking things, which were most of the house, were purchased by her. And so uh, I understand that nature. I pieced together that women are better off not doing the hard labor work out there. You know what I mean? And if they actually go into business together, there's a lot of working relationships out there. I see male and female couples that are yoga teachers, male and female um, that do. human science or whatever it is that they work together on. Male female couples producing movies and making music. These relationships actually work if they're into the same thing and they're both aligned with their destinies. You know what I mean? To fulfill that and to fulfill their functions here on earth, being mother and father, and masculine and feminine principles, and raising a family, together and stuff like that. That model of the woman working from the house, and actually she still be making her own money and all that, and the husband would be making his money, and they'll still be contributing to the family. You know what I mean? And then they got that income coming in together. Everything is down the middle. Everything's merged as one.
Yeah, you're talking about a synchronistic system.
Huh?
You're talking about a synchronicity.
Yeah.
Where everything is just kind of working and falling into place. But we need to get to that point. But the only way to get there, you're describing a great system, brother. But the way we have to get there is we have to critically analyze the system we're currently in, and then figure out a way that works. And we have to figure out where we're at now, and then work towards where we want to be. We can't. I mean, we can try to jump into it and see how long that system lasts. Because longevity is goal as well.
I'm gonna be for real. It's and for those that are not Ifa, those that are not Smitawi, the Kemetic tradition, or voodoo or anything like that. I'm gonna be real with you guys and suggest that you may want to get back into Eastern culture. Western culture got you divided. It got like the Bill Cosby meant very well when he did this, but 9 times out of 10, doctors and lawyers don't work together in relationships. That was good. He was a successful doctor, and then she was his wife, played by Felicia Rashad, was a successful lawyer. They typically, families don't work like that. They don't work together like that. But you can still. But I see his point about raising children and in a good home where the wife and the husband are working together. I saw his point, and I saw and they were all black. And with the exception of Felicia Rashad and maybe Lisa Bonet, they were all darker than the paper bag. So that idea actually worked, and the people and black folks watched it. And I remember at the time, a lot of black folks were saying, "Oh, that's not real. Black people don't do it like that." Well, black people can, and then black people did it like that long before the 80s. Black people did it like that.
There are some communities where that happens. Hey, I wanted to talk about some things that's going on in the comments.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing we're saying, like the family, the village structure. She was saying when the man died, the brother steps up and takes care of and helps take care of the family.
Yeah.
That's another concept that's missing, and that will help out with a lot of these single mothers. The village concept. This is where we're talking about polygamy and different things coming to place. And then she also said, just prepare preparation before you have the family. And so this is how we were talking when we were discussing the difference between a boy and a man.
Yeah.
A boy plays around with the energies of the world, but a man knows how to use them.
Right.
That's the difference between a boy and a man.
Right. Yeah.
A girl will play around with sex, but a woman and a man knows the power of sex.
Right. That's right. And I agree with what the commenter said. But I'm gonna say again, we're talking about cultural ideologies. That means we have to link back to more cultural, spiritual traditions, because Western society got it. Like now, it's in the Bible that to be fruitful and multiply. That means families need to be working together, and then they need to be male and female need to work together, and they need to raise the children. the Bible speaks very communal and very traditional in nature as far as families working together. Um, if we got back into the culture, a culture that actually reaffirms that, you know what I mean? People will actually do more of that. I think we need to start with a model where that actually works. You know, we need to start with a model. I had noticed over the years the most successful couples, they work together in the same environment, and so it helped their relationships work. It helped them build and feed off of each other. But yeah, everything you're talking about as far as being a community and working together as one, yeah, that I can do it. But I think that each individual family unit, each individual person need to be cultural
Check this
in
out,
tune.
brother. This Sister Sarah just said, which is something really interesting. She said the 9 to 5 lifestyle is an antithesis to the family structure, right?
Yes.
She's saying that, you know, in the Middle East or whatever, and in East Africa, people work from 8 to 1 o'clock, and they come home at 1. And then from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock the next morning, the family has a chance to bond.
Right.
So, you know, she's saying right now in the West, this society is built against family bonding, which is true. This society is not built on family bonding. It's built on making money. It's built on the ability of capitalists to use humans as units of energy to make money. And that's the basic philosophy that runs the capitalist system. You know, and it took the unions of the late 1800s, the early to mid 1900s to kind of set the rules for a manageable workday.
Right.
That's the importance of the unions, but the manageable workday is not conducive to proper home and family life. And then that's just in general with the attack on the family in general. Not to mention the workday for the African man or woman. That's just non-existent.
Right.
So,
now, and that's why I was saying with the husband and wife working on doing the same job, that's actually for them owning their own businesses. That's how that model would work. If they own their own business and work together like that, that's how that model would work. But working, if they both work for a particular employer, and neither one of them is that employer, then yeah, they're gonna catch a hard time.
Right. Agreed.
Western culture is made to conquer and divide, and they every idea that conquers and divides people.
Yep. It's a culture that's been built around economics.
Yeah.
This culture is seriously been built around economics. And then the economics of dominance.
Right.
You know, and so people are trying to find, you know, meaning within this type of system. And then we're trying to find balance in a position where that's been influenced by powers outside of our community.
Yeah.
You know, and then the people in our community that have the ability to influence our community don't, because they don't want to jeopardize their position in society.
Yeah.
You know, like Tyler Perry, he's good as long as he's doing it himself.
Right.
You know, as long as whatever he's doing benefits him, then he's good. Like his approach, I remember his answer towards like what's he doing to build the Black community. And this is good that he's doing this. He said he was mentoring somebody in jail.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna speak against that, but this man could be doing so much more.
Right.
You know, there was a white guy in the early 2000s who he had $10 million, right?
Yeah.
He went to a specific community, you know, inside the Orlando area, the ghetto. And for 10 years, he took that $10 million and put it into that small community, right?
Yeah.
Crime went down, crime went down, grades went up, employment went up, And within 10 years, that community turned from a lower class community to a middle class community because all of the children went off to college because we took care of the basics that our community was accepting, which was finances.
Right.
And we have enough millionaires in the black race in America, the African American race in America. The African Americans, we have enough black millionaires where we could do that systemically.
Yep.
Not take care of every community, but they can take care of one. They can take care of their community and help uplift the whole community, not just one person climbing out of the barrel where everybody else is down at the bottom.
Right.
But unfortunately, we think on an individualistic level, and we don't think as a collective.
Right. Yeah, this is true, and it's causing us problems.
Big problems. So ultimately, we're saying that we need to move towards a more balanced sense of what the black man and the black woman is in this community to understand our worth. And our worth is more than just our looks.
Yep.
That's what we're saying. We should not go out and judge people like toys.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's only going to lead to problems down the line.
Now, but to be realistic, we do, as men, we do look at the outward appearance at first, initially. And then
nobody's saying a person should be unhealthy.
No.
I think appearance, a lot of attractiveness has to deal with like your ability. Your attractiveness has a lot to do with health. Health has a lot to do with your ability to produce children. So what I'm saying is that the content of character trumps the way a person looks. But what I'm also saying is that person understands health and what it means to be healthy and take care of a healthy body. And if you take care of your body, if you are taking care of your health, you will still be attractive.
Take for example, how many men versus how many women would not date if a man is a vegan or a vegetarian and a woman is a vegan or a vegetarian? How many of men versus the women would not get in a relationship or have sex with somebody that is non-vegan, non-vegetarian?
I don't know, brother. I've never had a problem getting a girl. And I've been vegetarian for the last 20 years.
Right. But how many men now have you ever once in your lifetime seen a girl that was a meat eater and said, "Oh no, I ain't ever having sex with her. I'd never touch her"?
I don't think the diet really, no. Now over a long haul, a long-term relationship, the diet becomes an issue. That I have noticed because I've noticed the woman always looking at the food like, "Oh, I can't see how you eat that." That's after a period of time. That's way after we've had sex.
Right. And see, initially, men from the get-go, we're not going to care if we're a vegan. We're not going to care if that woman that we want to get with is not. But women,
depends on our values, brother. Because I'll let you go ahead.
But women, a lot of times, most of the time, genuinely do care about that. And what I'm saying is, it's not about. At first, there is an initial reaction, an initial attraction, right? And then, if we're men, and we're being honest with ourselves in the beginning, we have to find the woman first physically attractive and sexually attractive, and that's without words. Once the words kick in, we get to know the person based on what we're hearing and what we're seeing, and then we decide after then whether or not the person is worth getting into a relationship with or not. But realistically, it's that first initial attraction of what we see because we are visual in that nature.
This is what I was going to say. I think it all boils down to principles as well. Because what's ended a lot of my relationships in my old relationship was the woman's desire to smoke weed.
Oh yeah.
That I can deal with meat, but I can't deal with that.
Right.
You know, I always thought I was cool, if she kept it away from me. But I
Right.
realized I wasn't. So it depends. I guess it depends on values. When it comes to if a person values food a lot, then a difference in diet is going to be a good deal.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on what they value.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yo, brother, this has been a great conversation. Whoa,
Yeah.
so wait. Let me respond to this. Guys don't like smart women. They just like the exterior, not the interior. Nah, brother. So we're trying to get away from that.
Yeah. We love smart women.
Yeah, we
Nobody.
love smart women. We love smart, strong women. That's what we should do. But you're right, by and large. If you want to say a guy is a boy or a male, we're talking about what men and women who build the community are. What men and women who are interested and know the condition of the community and know to devote themselves to their own personal development to improve the community. What they like. Your sister or brother?
A man. A
You're
man.
a woman in real estate. All right, so this sister says she's a woman in real estate, and guys don't like smart women. I disagree with that, but that could be your experience. I can't speak to your experience. Like if smart women, if they've come across men who felt challenged by them because they're smart, then that could be their experience. I find intelligence very attractive.
Yeah. Guys love smart women. We do not like dumb women. Guys
Yeah,
like to, guys like to be in relationships with smart women. Guys like to be in relationships and marry smart women
smart woman.
and wise women.
Yeah.
We That's what we want. The only time we want a woman or would take a woman that's dumb or is if we don't want to settle down.
Yeah, if we're just playing around,
Then yeah,
if we're playing around, there's no we don't want somebody to compete.
yeah. Any woman would do at that point. We'll still
But
take
that's a boy.
we'll still take smart women when we if we don't want to settle down. But when it's time to settle down, only smart women and wise women that are mother figures would do for us.
Yep. Agreed.
And
So earlier, real estate wasn't on here earlier when we were talking about the difference between males, boys, and men, females, girls, and women. So if a person, boys and girls use their will, use their intelligence, use their social powers to satisfy their male and female urges. But men and women use their energy to build community.
yes,
Yeah, that's what we're discussing. And so in taking that into consideration, a man is going to value the character of a woman over the beauty of a woman because what lasts is character and intelligence. What fades over time, and it's also about time. You understand? We're talking about it's not about getting with the woman for the momentary pleasure that she offers you, but for the longevity, the longevity that's gonna happen there, for the community and the family that you're gonna build together, and how you're gonna improve the condition of people in your community, in your family, just by you being a model of sustainability inside their mind, so to speak.
yep,
Because it's not that what matters the most is the ability to stay together and not cause drama and trauma on another side. That's the key. Because ultimately the underlying thing that's hurting the community is drama. It's trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to find ways of living that can stop that from happening. And one of those ways is we need to stop looking at each other as objects. You know,
Right.
we're having a human experience.
That's right.
So
If in order for us to stop looking at people as objects, I think we would have to stop viewing Western movies, listening to Western music, and and playing Western video games, and get away from any type of pornographic or over sexualized materials,
yeah,
because that causes us to objectify each other.
that's very key. The sister asked in the question, she said, "Is monogamy realistic?"
Yes, if you want it to be.
Yep. If your commitment and your desire to the person and to your ideals is stronger and more valuable than sex.
My question to you, young lady, is: Do you take monogamy serious? Is it valuable to you? Is it realistic to you?
She says she agrees. She says monogamy is realistic. Yeah, she said that even before you answered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yes,
it's
definitely.
just about values and commitment, and really, we need to take control of what. I mean, it's really out of our control at this point with social media and the mobile phones and the mobile watches and the internet glasses. You know how much we can control what media our youth sees. She says she's a serial monogamist. I remember that good serial monogamy. But that's actually good because we're discussing how a sister should be empowered by being a serial monogamist and not feel negative. That's how this whole conversation started. You know, because there's nothing wrong with a woman valuing herself and getting into a relationship to find a mate. You know,
Right.
the negative self-image that we're saying needs to be taken out, and verbally abusing a woman who's trying to think for herself and influence.
Right.
So this sister said, "I was raised in East African culture as Snowmobile. Her father was polygamous, and her so was her grandfather. But in the West, it's taboo." So there's no. Me personally, right now monogamy. So my wife and I were open to polygamy, but it has to be the right person. We've been together almost a decade. It's just me and I, because that right other person has to, and so that's just the way it goes. And so it really all just depends upon your agreement and your commitment. It really just depends upon your agreement and your commitment.
Yeah.
People live now.
Yeah, if they stay committed to the idea and committed to whatever needs to be done, it can happen. It can be very successful.
She's asking. The sister's asking that I try. No, I haven't tried it yet. Open to it, but I haven't tried it. And it's not a try. I have other models of successful polygamous families around me. People who've been married over 50 years. So I have other successful models around, but I haven't. We're not there yet because the way in which a wife is chosen in our community is through the use of oracles. So it's not my feeling. It's not if I like it and then my wife has to make a choice. So I can't necessarily bring a sister into a relationship. I mean, I can, but really it's up to my wife whether or not she wants to share this relationship. Western entertainment is the mother of illusions. Facts. Western entertainment, as a matter of fact, appeals to the lower egoic nature. You know, that's all you see. And they use it as a weapon against us. Now that Western entertainment is definitely a weapon against the people.
No doubt.
So yeah, if you're interested, we use several different oracles. One oracle that I created, and then another is an oracle system called the Meta Nectar by Ryan Nephelim Shechem Shechem or Sechem the first. And so, yeah, no problem. I can show you the oracles. They work. The way oracles work is like, so the universe is made up of many different types of energies. Right? The universe, again, the oracle system uses symbols to interpret energy. And so once you memorize these symbols and the relationship these symbols have to each other, then when you do an oracle, when you pull a symbol, essentially it is your subconscious spirit communicating through symbol, what energy is dominant in the situation. So this is what Ifa does, this is what I Ching does, this is what the Medu does, this is what the Cosmocentric Oracle deck does. They use symbol to communicate energy. And this is all oracles across the world. Even in the Bible, they had an oracle called the Thummim and the Urim. It was an oracle that was, it was a God. It was after that the Israelites were in Exodus and exile or whatever. And God told them to make a shield filled with crystals. There were 12 crystals on the shield. And this is what the priest had to wear once they went into the oracle to get advice and guidance from God. So, and then even when this is in the Bible in Acts, I think, when Jesus appeared to his disciples and they said they cast lots to see who would carry the message of Jesus. Well, casting lots is the same thing as casting oracles. That's what a lot is. A lot is a way of deciding who should do a mission based upon the divine essence of answer. So oracles are systems and means of communication. Even though in the Bible they kind of use it at the same time, kind of weird. But yeah, that's how many important decisions are made.
And your book definitely speaks a lot about it.
Right.
The Cosmocentric Mystic.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my website in the chat, cosmicmystic.net. There's other classes that you can buy on there. There's personal coaching, my book, the oracles on there, and I'm building it up. So you can go on there. I'm putting it up in the chat now. You can check it out. And then no, it's not like the lottery. The lottery is not based upon divine laws at all. The lottery is based upon gambling. The sister said it's an oracle like a lottery. No, that's something totally different.
No.
It's totally different. Yeah, no, this isn't a lottery at all.
If you look at the movie, The Matrix had an oracle in it, and they personified it, the oracle system, in the form of a black woman. You might want to look at that. You check out Cosmocentric Mystic. There's oracle systems is what humans, especially the black humans, have been using for a very long time, thousands upon thousands of years. Because with that, they can speak directly with God and the angels of the heavens, and they will communicate the things that we inquire about in our lives.
Yep.
And just like
you know a lot about Ifa, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Ifa.
Ifa, I mean, it works the same way. It's like we got what is called Orisha, and the Orisha and the Neteru are essentially the same thing. The Orisha and Neteru are angels. They're aspects of God in the heavens. And you got God, you got the which we call Oludumare, and you have Orisha. God created the Orisha so that the Orisha could so man can communicate with the Orisha in the same way. And this is where Jesus, the metaphor with Jesus and God come into play. metaphor of Jesus and God, and the man had to communicate with Jesus in order to get to the Father. Is the principle is an African principle. We had to get through the Netaru and the Orisha to reach the supreme being above. You see what I'm saying? It worked. It worked. That's where they got that from. The origins of all this was African tradition and spirituality. That's where all that came from. And people wanted to know from spirit, God, and the forces of heaven. They want to know certain things about what's happening in their lives and things that they will encounter in the near and distant future. And then God will communicate back to them with the use of oracle systems. And so, and there's no such, and so from coming from this tradition and this perspective, there's no such thing as a devil. So a devil won't ever be answering you. It'll be God and the heavenly forces that will be answering you. The angel Michael, or and that's coming, out of the Bible, right? Ezekiel, Raphael, Gabriel. These are angelic forces, and they have different names in African traditions and spiritualities. And so that's where Christianity and these traditions like Smai Tawi, the Kemetic tradition, the Ifa tradition, that's where they are the same at, because the origin of Western traditions, it are African traditions. They wouldn't, Western traditions and spiritual systems or religions would not exist without African ones, right? The African ones is where they got all these ideas of a God and heaven and angels and all that stuff from. That's where it comes from. And so when we get back into that, we have our own culture. You get back into that, you got your own culture, and you got your own value system, and a value judgments based on ancient traditions that we have always had and are still here now. And so you'll find, if you were to study those things, you'll find that Christianity is not distant from African tradition. Matter of fact, Christianity is a form of African tradition. It's just Western society has misguided people about it. And misled people about it. You know what I mean? And so, but once you get to know the true nature of all this, you'll understand what that is. And so there's right now we still got people that practice a lot of these ancient traditions now, and then a lot of that knowledge and wisdom will be in Cosmic Afro Priest book, the Cosmocentric Mystic. You want to check that out.
Oh, too. This brother, this Caucasian brother, is trying to say, their culture has nothing to do with Africa. This is the problem. They don't have their own culture.
Huh?
This Caucasian said their culture has nothing to do with Africa. Your culture owes its existence to Africa, man. That's what you don't understand. Greece and Rome learned from Egypt. Egypt was an African culture.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so Caucasian, MGTOW, whatever that means, you need to do some study and some research. And
MGTOW?
Culture came from.
Wait a minute. MGTOW? The movement of men going their own way. That's the dude that said that?
Yeah. That's men going their own way?
Yeah. That's MGTOW, men going their own way. They get into artificial wombs and to replace women. So they want to get into artificial rooms and robots.
Gotcha. This dude is mythological. He's talking about Noah existed. So this cat still doesn't even do the Bible. So he doesn't know his Bible.
Yeah, that dude's confused.
He's mythological stuff. So anyway, there's one sister asked about oracles, right? So women have traditionally been valued. One of the reasons why men work so hard in the culture is because that's a fire, right? Men work with fire so much because that's what you use to work in the material world. Now women stay home and they're nurturing, but that's the water element inside of them. You need to leave, Caucasian. Be a Caucasian and get out the African room. Um, so women are more watery, and then women, it's easier for a woman to go into trance. This is why in African culture, African culture, ritual is so ritual is highly valued. You know, because inside ritual, the woman is able to go into trance and contact other realms so easily. You know, this is what you see in the Black church all the time. This is what you see in African traditions all of the time. Now, how do you?
What's up?
I'm trying to figure out how to kick somebody out because
Oh, MGTOW?
yeah, he's trying to. His conversation is not one that needs to be here. He's an antagonist for no reason. He needs to really go and study before he comes up into the room trying to talk any nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just blocked him. Next time I get a chance, I'm gonna kick him out.
Yeah, he's confused.
Yeah, you ain't got the knowledge. You ain't did the work to come up in this room and talk anything. I can guarantee you that you need to go back and study your true history to understand that you learned the pain from us before you come into this room talking and smacking that Caucasian. And now those are just facts. No racial pride, no nothing. Facts. So anyway, that's so the black women in general, but the black woman has the ability to enter into trance. And so the trance like allows us to access different levels of consciousness easier than men. You know, we have to go through extreme initiation to access that part of ourselves. Whereas women have it easier. Women have the ability. Here's the other thing. Women are the natural gateway to the ancestral realm. That's the other secret. Men, we're the gateway to the physical realm, but women are always the gateway to the ancestral realm.
Pretty much.
That's why women are used as oracles as well, because it's easier for the ancestors to communicate with the sister because she's more attuned to the ancestral realm than we are. Not that we can't be, it's just easier for her to attune. But if she's not cultivated, if she's not developed, she can lose that attunement just like we can.
Yeah. Women need to understand yeah, you brought up something good. Yeah. They're the link to the ancestral realm, right? New life and old life comes through the womb of a mother. All life comes through the womb of a mother.
All ancestors come through the womb.
When the ancestors come back, they come through the womb of a mother. That's just the bottom line. That's why the woman is so sacred. Matter of fact, the original Christ is female. Imagine a woman with dreadlocks. Imagine a woman bleeding naturally. Jesus had to cut himself to bleed because a man doesn't bleed naturally. If a man bleeds, he's injured. If a woman bleeds, it's corresponding to new life.
Yeah, it's purification.
Yep, purification. It's corresponding to life, and life being able to be renewed again and regenerated over and over and over again. That's part of the value of the woman. That's part of the value of femininity in the physical form.
Yeah. But see, this conversation is lost with numbering women on 1 to 10. You know, this conversation is lost. One of the high powers of women being able to increase their intuition faculty, because that's the communication with the divine is really increasing of your intuition faculty. Is lost with women putting themselves on display and for men to value them 1 to 10 on a number scale based upon how they accentuate their physical bodies.
Right.
Those are girls and boys playing with toys.
You want to know what devalues women more?
You said what?
You want to know what devalues women more? I think this whole actually feminism devalues women more than even that number system, because feminism, it ignores femininity and ignores what women are actually about. You know, feminism is about women coming up in the Western world and establishing themselves being the highest of the highest in a Western hierarchy, which devalues humans, which devalues people, which devalues women, put women on. White women, for example, are already considered second class citizens. So why would you want to become high up in status in the Western system? You see what I'm saying? Women have already been devalued before that number system came in. That number system is complete vanity. That's a sub that's a subality and subculture of of Western civilization, Western ideology. And so the thing about it is, yeah, if women go back to their origins, you know, and go and understand the value of what a woman really is, a lot of them may think twice before they may think twice about, you know, their sexual partners, and they'll think twice about because when you think twice about your sexual partners, you will think twice about what they uh uh what, about killing your children in the womb. What's that? Abortion. You'll think twice about that because you don't want to commit an act that will hurt you later down the line. There's been studies done about women that had gotten abortions. A lot of them had developed cancer after a while. A tumor replaced the area where a child was supposed to be born and you know, and gestated in. And so, and they cover.
So real estate said so a woman shouldn't want to be successful.
Yes, you should always want to be successful, but be successful according to her and her destiny, not according to
I like that.
society's idea of what she should be and what society's idea, Western society's idea of success. Western society's idea of success even devalues men. It devalues human beings, period. Western
see, and in most traditions, your destiny is the most important.
Yep.
So if you're defining your idea of success by society, by all means, go for that. But understand it comes with consequences because this society is not built upon an understanding of what it means to be human. This society is built upon a capitalistic system. And so one of the sisters in the comments earlier said, you know, people in the Middle East and in certain parts of Africa, they only work till 1 o'clock, and then after the rest of the day is used to bond with the family. So children come home, families come home. I mean, men come home, and they're spending time with family. We don't know that life over here in the West, or if we do, we're working part time, and that sucks as far as the money's concerned, and we want to work harder. So we've allowed within the last 100 years our minds to redefine what success is. And many people get what they call success and they don't like it. And they understand true success comes from your ability to be a part of a community. That's what you hear most rich, successful people say after a while. It's what contributions you can make to humanity. And those contributions comes from the result of your talent.
That's right. Start to value yourself.
Yeah. And many times you have to let go of the idea of the divine essence first, God first. Yep.
Yep. Put God first.
Yep. Whatever your interpretation, your understanding is, we're not putting any other understanding down in this conversation. You understand? We're saying certain things come from certain traditions, but there is truth in all traditions. And so laws, we said earlier, the laws come first before the man or for the woman. So if the laws come from divinity, first the divine essence comes first.
Divine laws.
Yeah.
Not what has been interpreted as laws of the land, which is really laws of man. Laws of the land are very ecological in nature. It's literally the land that we are on. And if you disobey the laws of the land that we stand on, you will experience catastrophes, very catastrophic events that will affect the human population on Earth. So don't disrupt the laws of the land. Pay attention to that. You can plant certain things in certain areas. You can build buildings in certain areas and face in certain directions so that they won't fall. That's paying attention to the laws of the land. Law is cosmic. It's divine. So law first comes from heaven. Law comes from God. You know what I mean? Creation. That's where law comes from. That's law. Divine law is the law.
Yep.
All that other stuff that a lot of times that we come up with, especially if we're boo-boo heads or something down here, all that stuff we come up with is ridiculous. Laws doesn't cost you money. It doesn't cost you a dime, right? So just keep that in mind. Law doesn't cost you a dime. It may cost you time and it may cost you energy if you break them.
Yep.
But it won't cost you money.
Nope. Exactly. The sister says she wants to live off land. You know, that's really what it should be about. Is honestly, if we're really serious. I was looking at when I did my research, when I did my presentation and my research on the Hebrew Israelites. You know, I don't agree with their philosophy, but I can agree with the fact that they have their own land.
Right.
You know, I can't agree with the nation building that they've done. You know, so that's intensely, extremely powerful. And so, in truth, I have this information, I have this knowledge, you know, but do I have the wisdom to carry it out? That's what I'm going to strive towards next. You know,
right.
establishing a home plan, establishing some land for brothers and sisters to come through and to create a sustainable community and society. That's what I'm striving. That's what I'm putting my effort into. You know, because there's not a lot of people saying that. You know,
right.
Talking, not a lot of saying. Wow,
right.
Houses, that's dope. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking into building small houses right now. You know, I have a commitment of some land up in Arkansas. I just need to figure out how to get the resources and materials to build the house. I was looking at putting a tiny home up there and building a commune meditation, holistic health and healing retreat space. But it's just resources. You know, I need the resources to build the houses right now. True indeed. Yo, this has been a wonderful conversation, brother. I'm about to end this right now. How can people reach out to you, Brother Otun?
Right now, I'm not on very many social media platforms.
But you're about to build it up, though, right?
Yeah, Facebook. I have an old one on Facebook, Otun Damari, and then but I'm about to build some more my social media presence on there, so you can you'll be able to reach me pretty soon, actually.
Right.
Very soon. I'm working on some projects right now that I'll be coming out with very soon, anytime now. So people will be able to reach me then, and then talk to me direct. Send in comments, anything like that. Anything you want to see, anything you want to talk about, I'll be there.
All right. You can this is the YouTube channel. You can hit me up there. You can always go to my website, cosmicmystic.net. I'm setting up a space where we can have like group chats in there, because what I want to create is a retreat space for people to be able to come and then to engage in deep ritual, deep meditation to help cleanse the dramas and the traumas that they've engaged with in life, so that they can go back to life or stay and cultivate a life where they can be of better service, essentially. I agree. Not in reinvent his will. All right, that's what's up. But everybody, this has been an awesome time. Peace and blessings. Hope to see you, catch me again. I'm gonna speak with my brother Kepra. We're gonna be talking about astrology on Wednesday. More than likely, I got to reach out with him and get with that. And then my next presentation is going to be on. I'm doing this series on breaking down the Hebrew Israelites. So my next presentation is going to be on Jews in south of the Sahara. So check me out. That should be coming on Sunday around 12 noon. After that, we're going to still go on with this series, Black Woman, You Are Worthy. And just really trying to start conversations to promote positive manifestations in the community.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. All right, everybody. Peace and blessings.
Shalem Hatep.
Shalom.